Shadow Swampert continues the relentless spam of Hydro Cannons. The next one removes Thunderous from the field of play. Out comes Galarian Weezing. The opponent tries for the catch onto the Steel Penguin. Catch attempt unsuccessful. And that might be a decision the opponent lives to regret. Whilst most Swampert nowadays run Sludge, this one still has that Hail Mary Earthquake. And it's going to be high Empoleon, buy Empoleon. Welcome back to the channel. Finally, your boy Jamie Finn has a day off. I slept for almost 14 hours. I'm refreshed, I'm revitalized, and I'm super excited for two reasons. Firstly, today is the new Team Rocket takeover, meaning we are getting some heavy reinforcements in the Go Battle League. Speaking of which, my very first balloon of the new event was a Shadow Dino. I thought my luck was in. I was thinking, what are the chances? I checked the IVs and it's absolutely atrocious. However, we can power it up to his wireless and test it out in some actual Go Battle League footage later today, because we're going to have the Willpower Cup where it looks like a decent threat. I'll be honest, I'd much rather invest in a better one, but sometimes you just rock with whatever you've got. I'm more than happy to invest them resources if you guys want to see it. However, let's remain on topic. Today we've got an incredible battle submission from the one and only Kitkatdeluxe. Firstly, shout out all them girls at PvP. And secondly, KitKat, without a doubt, is one of the most improved battlers in the world. She's not played this game all that long. I believe she started in 2023 or potentially even 2024. And despite this, she's at Legend the last 4 seasons consecutively. One of the main issues that a newer battler faces in the Go Battle League is the inaccessibility to XL Pokemon. However, today's team has not a single piece of XL candy for any of the Pokemon. All 3 of these Pokemon are well below even level 40, and despite that, it's a destructive triple shadow team that's accessible for all. With all that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we are off to a good start as Shadow Scizor stares down Togekiss. The opponent safe switches into Drapion. KitKat takes the initiative, banks some energy, and sends out Swampert. I really like today's team composition. Scizor only has one single weakness, which is double weakness to fire. Hence, the 2 water types are looking to protect against that weakness in the back. You can already see KitKat's high gameplay IQ. She's played this mid-game matchup super smart. Not only she banked energy on her lead, she's also bullet punched this Drapion in a range where a single Hydro Cannon will remove Drapion from the field of play. Opponent actually makes a catch onto Virizion, and that more than works for us, as Scizor is our only real way of getting rid of this thing, unless of course we can land an Ice Beam. Scizor re-enters the arena, fires off the Trailblaze, and at this point the damage is already done. Scizor can tank any one move. Sacred Sword simply does not cut it, and again you can see KitKat not opting to throw, and that is intentional. She'd rather take farm than concede farm herself. She sends out Gator, looks for the farm down. The opponent, not wishing to concede a farm down, send back out Drapion. Drapion fires off the crunch. The angry alligator withstands the damage. Gator looks for the farm down, unfortunately unable to get it. Drapion reaches the Aqua Tail on fractional HP. Aqua Tail doesn't do it. Gator leaves insanely low, but a whole heap of energy good to go. Virizion is still alive, but not with much HP remaining. Togekiss re-enters the arena. We see the pivot into Swampert and the banking of the energy. Swampert races the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon doesn't get the job done. The opponent send out Virizion. Virizion double kicks farm down, but Gator Shadow Claw farms down Virizion. We're now doubled up on Hydro Cannons. You know the drill. The first will be forcing the opponent's final protection, and the second is going to be all she wrote with Kitkatdeluxe off to a 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. A very, very well played game there to get us underway today. Heading into the next battle. We lead Shadow Scizor into Cradilly. You absolutely love to see it. The dream lead. The opponent says no thank you. Once again, safe switch into Drapion. KitKat does exactly the same as she did in the last battle. Banks some energy, gets off some bullet punch damage before sending out Swampert. Swampert is very commanding in this matchup. You pace at the same speed to Hydro Cannon and Crunch respectively, but Swampert with the higher attack going to be always able to win that charge attack priority. Looks like the opponent looks to play for switch. KitKat forced to protect shields in return. KitKat once again looks to trap the opponent into the CMP tie. They do not win, but the opponent recognise they're going to lose that CMP tie and make the catch onto Jellicent. This Jellicent swiftly answers with Gator. The Shadow Claw is going to tear through the HP. KitKat goes for optimal timing. 7 Shadow Claws and the Hydro Cannon, despite being resisted, puts this Jellicent deep into the red health range. Jellicent returns fire with the Shadow Ball that lands for heavy damage, but Gator undeterred, tanks the damage, gets a massive farm down, leaving absolutely loaded on energy. Drapion re-enters the arena, looks to get off his energy, but once again loses CMP. Hydro Cannon removes Drapion from the field of play. Just Cradilly remains. We pivot into Scizor. The opponent doesn't want the smoke, and they concede the match. GG's to that opponent. Ultra League is notorious for being quite slow and bulky, but this team is making quick work of the meta. In the next battle, we see Torterra in the lead position. This is Purified Kitkat. If you lose to this, I am removing you from my friends list. I'm only kidding, but please don't lose to a Purified Pokemon. Torterra fires off the Sand Tomb, a debuff in our defense. Kitkat fires off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze forced to protection. Unfortunately, we get Mud Slap farm down before the Night Slash is reached. We send out Feraligatr, and tough decision to make. Is it a Sand Tomb? Is it the Frenzy Plant? Kitkat thought about calling the bait, and unfortunately, we get baited with the Sand Tomb. This should only be a Sand Tomb. Kitkat has knowledge in accounts, recognises that can't be a Frenzy Plant. Tanks the Sand Tomb and gets a massive farm down. We reset our debuff. Pivot into Swampert. No, trainer. Why would you pivot out there? Most Swampert are on Sludge. So Empoleon would have actually fully walled the usual moveset. Of course, we did have Earthquake, but the opponent does not know that. They send out Charizard, and Charizard is about to get sacrificed to the Pokegods. The first Hydro Cannon forced their shield. The second cleanly picks up a one-hit KO. Just a Steel Penguin remains. Kitkat could shield this and look to Earthquake him to the face. That is exactly what Kitkat's going to do. Kitkat shields up the Hydro Cannon. Looks to reach the Earthquake, but unfortunately this time it's us that lose CMP. But this game is still signed, sealed, and delivered. Feraligatr has all the energy in the world. Kitkat just needs to reach the double Hydro Cannon that we actually already got. The first one going to do some very solid resisted damage. The second one going to be removing them from the field of play. And the win streak remains intact. GG's and thanks for playing. Another very quick battle. Heading into the next battle. We're going to lead a Shadow Scizor into Galarian Weezing. Oh my days, man. The disrespect to Scizor this season is a joke. The opponent's save switches into Thunderous. What is a Thunderous doing on my screen? That is some cool spice, to be fair. We force a Protect Shield with the Night Slash, then send out Swampert. Worst case, it's going to be a Crunch or Brick Break. The opponent fire off the Crunch and actually get the debuff, meaning Kitkat is going to be forced to shield this next if she wants to keep alignment. We see Kitkat invest the Protect Shield, unfortunately shielding up a Wild Bolt Storm. Debuffing our attacks, and now Swampert has a -1 attack and defense to contend with, but Swampert undeterred, so incredibly spammy. The next Hydro Cannon removes Thunderous from the field of play. Back out comes Galarian Weezing. The opponent tried for the Hydro Cannon catch onto the Steel Penguin, and that might be a decision this opponent lives to regret. Most Swampert opt for Sludge over Earthquake, but if this opponent's wondering what our second move is, it's Earthquake, it's locked, it's loaded, get that Steel Penguin off my screen. We then pivot into Gator, and this game is over. Feraligatr, aka the Angry Alligator, the Shadow variant, can tank any one move. The opponent fire off the Sludge, that simply does not cut it. Gator, grinning away, fires off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon isn't lethal, but leaves the opponent insanely low. Weezing, looking to pull off the impossible, but unfortunately, Mr. Opponent, your win cons are essentially Kitkat lagging out or having a heart attack. Neither win con does occur. Kitkat Bullet Punch farms down the remaining HP, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Gastron in the lead position, or a Pokemon I normally call the RPS Slug. Speaking of RPS, it looks like Kitkat very much on the right end of an RPS alignment battle so far. We save switch into Feraligatr. Kitkat dares the opponent to full send a Brave Bird. They fire off the Fly. The Angry Alligator, grinning away, withstands the damage, fires off the Hydro Cannon. The first one forced to Protect Shield. So I guess if the opponent's going to shield once, they're going to shield twice. The opponent does exactly that, go all in on Talonflame, just about able to incinerate farm down before the next Hydro Cannon's reached. Talonflame leaves completely loaded, but with no shields to hide behind. Kitkat interestedly going to send out Scizor here. Oh no, they're on Flame Charge. We're going to tank a boosted incinerate. Holy crap, that did like 50%. Kitkat definitely going to shield up this boosted Flame Charge. Thankfully, we're able to throw one Bullet Punch and the Night Slash, meaning that second boosted incinerate will not register. Night Slash moves Talonflame from the field of play. Back out comes Gastrodon, which is certainly an interesting decision as this Trailblaze is double super effective. Trailblaze, not quite a one-hit KO, quick switch into Swampert and a cheeky Mud Shot run and start. The opponent's final Pokemon is Malamar. Swampert going to tank any one move. The opponent likely throw the foul play, not wanting to debuff their own attack and defense, but Swampert now going to be able to outpace to the double Hydro Cannon. The first one going to do half their HP. The second one going to be vanquishing them back to their Pokeball, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. On a random side note, how small was that Malamar, man? It was tiny. You could still smell the placenta on the bloody thing. In the next battle, another Cradilly in the lead position. The opponent save switch into Corviknight, and here comes Swampert. I'm kind of surprised he has not sent out Feraligatr here, because the issue Swampert's going to face is two Hydro Cannons don't quite knock out, whereas if you go Gator, two Hydro Cannons would knock out because the Shadow Claws are hitting for neutral as opposed to the resisted Mud Shots. KitKat's opponent very horny for a boost, going straight air cutter in this matchup. They finally do get the boost. KitKat fires off the first Hydro Cannon. This next Hydro Cannon is survivable. Potentially the opponent gives us a shield, trying to ride that boost. The opponent actually trusts their Corviknight's IVs. Tank the Hydro Cannon. KitKat is now going to shield and look for a resisted mud shot farm down. KitKat shields up the air cutter. Corviknight unable to reach another move. Swampert does leave low, but with residual energy good to go. Back out comes Cradilly. Swampert is in the red health range. The opponent going to have a tough time with trying to resist it. Acid Farm us down. The first Hydro Cannon rocks the opponent below half health. Swampert so incredibly spammy. Still not done. Reaches yet another Hydro Cannon. And Swampert's almost removed 2 Pokemon from the field of play. I like KitKat's decision here to send out Feraligatr, recognising the opponent's going to instantly pivot out. And they're now going to get a 1-turn switch. Out comes Gastrodon. Gastrodon shields the first Hydro Cannon. They surely can't double shield here. They're going to have to tank this move, because if not, they open up the door for us to Trailblaze them to the face. The opponent actually do 2-shield Gastrodon. And once again, we're looking in a scenario where this game is completely over. KitKat instantly no shields. The opponent fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam doesn't quite get the job done. And here comes Scizor. Scizor going to invest to protect shield. The opponent go for the Body Slam bait. But no bait is going to save this snail's fate. We're at the Trailblaze. Trailblaze double super effective. Easily knocks out Cradilly, re-enters the arena, and 1 bullet punch is going to be all she wrote. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, this time we see Corviknight in the lead position. By no means a great matchup. We're going to look to utilise Feraligatr on the save switch. The opponent goes straight for the air cutter. Air cutter won't do much damage, but potentially does give the opponent the chance of the boost. No boost does occur. Gator massively over farms, ensuring it's got residual energy good to go should the opponent look to pivot out. That actually ends up being a CMP type. So if I was KitKat, I'd throw 4 quick moves and the Hydro Cannon, which would be 1 turn before the opponent reaches the next air cutter. KitKat does exactly that, displaying perfect energy management. And Angry Alligator removes Corviknight from the field of play. Out comes Cradilly. KitKat doesn't farm to the Ice Beams. If the opponent's counting low, they can tank this move. They do tank the Hydro Cannon, but it still does some very valuable chip damage. Cradilly acid farms down. We send out Scizor. The opponent retreats into Runerigus, and here comes Swampert. Swampert races that Hydro Cannon that should be stripping the first protection of the game. Hydro Cannon does exactly that. Is it the Rock Tomb? Is it the Shadow Ball? KitKat no shield. The opponent falls in the Shadow Ball. However, this game's still looking over. Where the hell does the opponent burn the final protection? They really can pick their poison. They actually tank the Hydro Cannon. Oh, it's just a tough spot for the opponent. They shield the Hydro Cannon. Both moves on Scizor are going to be super effective. If they would have double shielded, they'd be down 2 shields. Whatever they do, this game's just a loss for them, unfortunately. Scizor re-enters the arena. KitKat looking to shield flex on the opponent. Shows a little respect to the Rock Tomb. Looks for the Bullet Punch farm down. The opponent is going to concede the match with KitKat still having 2 shields intact. Heading into the next battle, the Dream Lead. Scizor into Togekiss. The opponent save switch into Swampert. KitKat going to fire off the Night Slash and then likely send out Gator. That's a smart chip and dip from KitKat, because what she's done is now put this Swampert in a range where we only need to fire off 1 Hydro Cannon to look to remove him from the field of play. This opponent also running Earthquake, and Earthquake lands for heavy neutral damage, leaving Gator in the red health range. Gator fires off the Hydro Cannon, forcing a protection off Swampert. The opponent recognises they can't mud shot farm down and look to dump yet further energy. The resisted Hydro Cannon removes us from the field of play. KitKat sends out Scizor. Scizor able to get a very nice resisted Bullet Punch farm down, and out comes Virizion. Despite not having switch advantage, KitKat still has the alignment that she wants. For those of you that are newer to the game or don't have any XL candy and looking for a budget, entry-level Ultra League team, the opponent's team is also fully non-XL. KitKat invests to protect shield, 1 Bullet Punch and the Night Slash. Night Slash isn't lethal, and unfortunately KitKat unable to Bullet Punch farm down afterwards either. KitKat no shield, saving the final shield for Swampert as she looks to ride Swampert home. This is potentially looking like our first loss. Swampert can 2-shot Togekiss in this matchup. However, I think we're going to get 1 shot if the opponent's on like Dazzling Gleam or something, as the pecs are really starting to chunk, whereas our mud shots are double resisted. KitKat invests to protect shield. The opponent falls into Dazzling Gleam. Swampert returns fire with the Hydro Cannon, which should be forcing the opponent's final protect shield. It does exactly that. Swampert, unfortunately, is going to get outpaced. Can Swampert survive a Dazzling Gleam from this range? We cannot. And that one does end in heartbreaking defeat. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Scizor into the Shiny Panda Bear, a cool Shiny Flex for our opponent. They throw on force. This can only be a Night Slash, making KitKat shielding decision easy. No shield the first move. On the off chance the opponent gets the boost, KitKat going to force in the Trailblaze. Look to remove the Panda Bear from the field of play. Trailblaze does exactly that and vamps up Scizor's attack. Out comes Armored Mewtwo. Scizor might be glassy, but the opponent going to be unable to resist the confusion farm down Scizor before the boosted Night Slash is reached. Kitkat forces protection and then makes the save switch into the Angry Alligator. Mewtwo going to fire off the Side Strike, a very good move, but Armored Mewtwo quite defense weighted, and it doesn't actually do anywhere near as much as you'd expect. You can see Mewtwo's bulk. We actually fire off the Hydro Cannon, that Mewtwo's able to survive. The opponent then save Mewtwo on fractional HP before sending out Nidoqueen. Oh, trainer, I am so sorry. We send out Swampert with a 2-0 shield advantage. Even if the opponent falls in an Earth Power, it's simply not going to cut it. The opponent does exactly that. Swampert tanks the damage, returns fire with the Hydro Cannon. Hi Nidoqueen, bye Nidoqueen, remove yourself from my screen. Back out comes Mewtwo just to get Mudshot farm down, and Kitkat returns to winning ways. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see another Torterra in the lead position. The last one did give us some problems. Let's see if Kitkat looks to make an adjustment. Okay, great. We can see the first adjustment here. Last time Kitkat went for the Trailblaze, while Trailblaze does boost our attack. Last time we got Mudslap farm down before we was able to reach a second move. This is what you need to do. When you see a problematic Pokemon, you need to try and make an adjustment, and Kitkat has done exactly that this time, opting for double Night Slash, either forcing both Protect Shield or just landing massive damage on this Torterra. We now send out Swampert able to Mudshot farm down, and Kitkat this time still has 2 shields intact. The opponent sends out Charizard, tried to make a catch onto Honchkrow. Oh my days, this is a spicy team from our opponent. If you even look at Honchkrow the wrong way, it almost gets one shot. That Hydro Cannon leaves the opponent so deep into the red health range. The opponent fire off the Sky Attack removes us from the field of play. Gator able to resist it, Shadow Claw farm down, back out comes Charizard. Charizard playing out to the very bitter end, but I think it's safe to say we all know how this one's going to end. Kitkat just needs to farm up to the double Hydro Cannon, which we're now at. The opponent going to fire off yet another Air Cutter. Even a boost at this point will not save the opponent's fate. Gator fires off the first Hydro Cannon, forces the opponent's final protection. The second Hydro Cannon is going to be massive overkill on the Glassy Shadow Scizor, and Kitkat will be emerging victorious. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Regidrago in the lead position. You'd think this is a commanding matchup, as Scizor kind of suffers from the same issues that Honchkrow does. We can't really tank hits, even when resisted. A Dragon Energy will do a lot. With that in mind, Kitkat actually chooses to invest in protection, looking to keep Scizor nice and healthy. She then farms up, throws the Night Slash, forces our Protect Shield back. Kitkat able to outpace to the second Night Slash, and the Bullet Punch have already done crazy damage. I guess we're about to find out how well Scizor tanks the Dragon Energy. Ouch, not well at all. The opponent then makes the pivot into Corviknight. We see the Night Slash banked and the counter swap of Swampert. Unlike the last time we saw this matchup, Kitkat did get off some Bullet Punch damage, so potentially Swampert can now 2-shot in this matchup. What the hell is happening here? Hello, game. Oof, that is a huge amount of lag. I've always been someone who's very vocal about game state issues, but if I'm being honest, this season has kind of been alright. They've eliminated one-turn bring-in, which was the bane of my life last season. The opponent gets the boost, but Swampert is still able to reach double Hydro Cannon. The second Hydro Cannon isn't quite lethal, but Kitkat goes for the wham-bam combo play, sends out Scizor, serves the opponent up the Big Mac and the fries. Night Slash moves them from the field of play. Oof, Lapras, this is rough. I'd much rather be Lapras in this matchup. Kitkat still has a catch opportunity on a low health Swampert, but this is going to be one very, very tricky endgame. You can see by the long pause there, I was trying to think in my head, how do we win this battle? I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see if Kitkat can muster up a win con. The opponent's still got Regidrago at low health as well, and they can potentially make a catch themselves. No catch attempt is made, and I think that's the correct play. This opponent is on Skull Bash, and this Hydro Cannon simply isn't going to cut it. The opponent now receiving energy for the next Skull Bash. That is going to be the end of our Feraligatr, and unfortunately Lapras is going to side away farm down the remainder of our team. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle is Togekiss in the lead position. I think it's a common misconception. People think I hate fairies. I certainly don't. What I hate is charm. I wish they'd actually roll out viable quick moves to a lot more fairies, giving a more flexible play across the board. The opponent save switches into Nidoqueen. We force protection, the hard punish with Swampert. Most Nidoqueen are running Poison Fang and Stone Edge, meaning Swampert is going to fully wall the moveset. Fully wall the charge moves anyway. However, I don't disagree with Kitkat investing in a Protect Shield here. Because if we would have tanked the next Poison Fang, would have got Mudslap farm down. Of course, Kitkat looks to maintain alignment here in the mid-game matchup. We see the opponent save Nidoqueen, make the catch onto the Steel Penguin. The Hydro Cannon is resisted, potentially will reach one more. Even with double debuff defense, we're able to do exactly that, and we do force the energy off Empoleon. Empoleon fires off the Hydro Cannon, removing us from the field of play, and here comes the Angry Alligator. Feraligatr and Empoleon do pace at the same speed, but you don't want to play CMP games with a Steel Penguin if you're Feraligatr, and that isn't a charge attack priority that you will win. KitKat smartly took the extra Shadow Claw, heavily over farms, fires off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon removes the Penguin from the field of play. Back out comes Togekiss. KitKat just going to set up for the Hydro Cannon. Ice Beam is super effective, but one isn't lethal, so double Hydro Cannon is the correct play. Oof, what a savage catch as well. Scizor is one glassy Pokemon, but still double resist poison, meaning that is a double resisted catch. KitKat able to bullet punch farm down. Togekiss re-enters the arena before swiftly conceding the match. Very well played endgame. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow Hariyama in the lead position. Oh my days, look at these Shadow Force Palms. That is disgusting. Scizor is getting melted. Speaking of melted, the opponent aggressively send out Torkoal. Holy, what a spicy team. Torkoal needs to be fully maxed out all the way at level 50 to reach its full potential. And they do, of course, have access to Solar Beam. KitKat already down one protection last second. Invest to protect shield. The opponent unable to land the beam. Feraligatr Shadow Claw farms down. Back out comes Hariyama. KitKat fires off the correct 4 Shadow Claws and the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon strips the first Protect Shield, one further Shadow Claw, and the Angry Alligator already at the next Hydro Cannon. Feraligatr putting in so much work. We go for the wham, bam, combo play. Heartbreakingly, this is going to be the end of Shadow Hariyama. Trailblaze removes them from the field of play, and out comes Drifblim. This Night Slash, non-stab, but is boosted. A Night Slash, oh my god, almost a one-hit KO. We're able to bullet punch farm down and take that game. With our boy Shadow Swampert getting a well-deserved rest on the bench. In the next battle, we see Florges in the lead position. The opponent says, no thank you. Scizor, I don't want that work. And save switch into probably my least favourite Pokemon, Zygarde. Zygarde fires off the crunch. Feraligatr farms the Ice Beam, baits with the Hydro Cannon. Ice Beam would be double super effective. Oh, what a call from our opponent. Switch advantage is actually really important in this battle. I've seen a lot of Florges now running Chilling Water and Trailblaze. A full non-stab moveset, but Trailblaze would be double super effective into our Swampert. We've got Lurking in the back. Feraligatr fires off the Hydro Cannon. Is the opponent going to 2-shield and look for the Dragon Tail farm down? Please tell me they're not. That is the exact play the opponent's going for. KitKat recognises she's going to get farmed down and sends out Scizor. The opponent full send an Earthquake, which rocks us insanely low, but the opponent then switch locks Belly Bolt. Me and this opponent certainly wouldn't get on Belly Bolt plus Zygarde. Such a boring, bulky combination, completely the opposite of anything I look for in a fun team. However, the opponent's switch lock on this Belly Bolt is perfect for us as Swampert now has a shield to hide behind. The opponent continues to farm up, potentially looking to throw a Zap Cannon, so Swampert able to win the race. Fire off the Hydro Cannon, removing Belly Bolt from the field of play. The opponent doesn't want the work, doesn't want the smoke, and they concede the match. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's showcase. As always, KitKat, shoutcasting your battles is a pleasure. Very, very well played games. So if you are someone that avoids Ultra League because you think it's inaccessible, I think today was a prime example that non-XL Pokemon not only have play, but are actually very strong in the current meta. KitKat was able to get up to around 2,300 ELO using this team, which at the time of recording is very close to the bottom of leaderboards. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, links to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.